I'm going to try and remain as diplomatic as possible as I can in this video, because if there's one thing at the minute that I love nothing better to do, it's to wake up the first thing in the morning here in Australia. It's actually 12:30, so we're going back a couple of hours ago. I've needed some cool down time. I love to wake up, go do a workout, get my breakfast, come home, eat my breakfast, and watch a Jingles video. I love Jingles' videos. He's a very entertaining dude. However, he made a video that I just finished watching, and I've spent the past couple of hours playing some Anno 2205 so I can just chill out and gather my thoughts, where he talks about how overpowered in the hands of a good player the E25 is. Now, here's the thing. I don't disagree that if the E25 were only to see on-tier battles and possibly 6s and 7s, just literally 6s and 7s, then I would say yes, it's probably a little bit overpowered. But being the fact that it sees 5s, 6s and 7s, and then 7s, 8s and 9s, like there's a 2-tier spread below and there's a 2-tier spread above. So in the way that the tank is most definitely, the E25 is most definitely overpowered when it's fighting against 5s and 6s. But that's just the way of the road in World of Tanks. Like, that's something we all have to put up with, right? Like, look, right? Just because I've spent 6 years of my life and thousands of dollars on World of Tanks, right? With all these tanks here, all the premium tanks, all the gold crews, thousands of dollars in years of my life, right? Just because I've spent that and done that, it doesn't mean that I'm exempt or get any special treatment, right? So if we click on service record, 47,000 battles. For 47,000 battles, I have had to play World of Tanks, and regardless of how much money I've spent, I get the 2-tier spread either below or above. It's just the way of the road. Like, there's nothing, like, the only ones that could change the tiering system in World of Tanks are the wargaming developers. Now, people have been crying and whining about the fucking the tier system in World of Tanks for as long as I can remember, right? Like, look, when it comes to online gaming, and like a game like World of Tanks, you either put your big boy pants on, or you just go back and play fucking Hello Kitty Island Adventures or something, right? Because we don't care about you crying. We all have to fucking put up with it. It's just the way of the road, right? So here's my E25. 6 cents for my first commander skill, then camo. Then on my second commander skill and the rest of my crew, they've got Brothers in Arms. Brothers in Arms gives you a 5% bonus to all crew skills and perks. Then you combine that with equipment, improved ventilation class, 5% to all crew skills. Okay, every tank and everybody can have this. The more time, like this crew here, this RHM crew. These guys have been in my RHM. They were in my tech tree. Okay, where is it? I've had these guys since the PZF-SF-V. I've had them since a tier 5 tank destroyer, and I've grinded them all the way up to the Nashorn, to the Emil, to the RHM. Everyone can do that. No, like, this is no special treatment. It's just crew training, and then you train the credits or the gold to keep moving your crew up and advance them into the next tanks. It's common knowledge. Like, does it make the E25 overpowered that I've got like a crew that's working 69% on their 4th perk? If you think that, then you need to cry to wargaming, right? That's not my problem. It's all part of the game mechanics. It's just how it is, right? So the E25, here it is, right? Very small. It's only got a tier 6 gun. The tier 6 gun has 150 millimeters of average penetration and 135 damage per shot. Now, that is very low penetration and very low damage. But the bonus is that it has a really fast rate of fire. It shoots, I think I've got it down to like 1 shot every 4 seconds. Okay, so it's got a very high damage per minute rate, right? Like, but here's the kicker, right? Here's the catch. It's a tier 7 tank, 2-tier spread, 8s, 7s, 8s, and 9s, right? Here's an E75. Look at the size of this fucking thing compared to my E25, right? Let's go vehicle details, right? Vehicle details, and then let's go, what do we got here? Where is the E75? Hello, E75. Vehicle details, okay? side by side, average damage per shot, 490. The E20, how many hit points? It's got 830 hit points, 2 shots, and I'm dead. How many hit points does this have? Okay, durability, 1920 hit points. How much damage do we do a shot? 150 damage per shot. 150, we would need to do 150, there's 300, 600, 900, 1200, 1500, 1800. We would have to shoot the E75 15 times. We would have to shoot the E75 15 times to do 1900 damage. Okay, it would only need to shoot us twice. But you shoot so fast, you could delete that thing. Let's take a look at our what was the penetration? 150 average penetration. The hull armor on the E75 is 160. We don't have the penetration with standard rounds for its frontal armor. So if we fight the E75 head on, we're going to lose because 1, we can't pen its armor. 2, he can pen our armor. That's not even including the fact that he might be hull down, having his lower glacis not showing, right? So then 4, right, in our non-movable turret tank, right, we would have to drive around to his flanking shot and stay out of his view range, hoping that we could still keep him spotted, whilst the E75 could just sit there and turn his turret and his hull, depending on if he's fighting 2 enemies or not. He might want to keep his hull to the person that's shooting him from the front and then use his turret to follow us. There's so many different situations here. Let's take, you know what? Let's say there was a 1-tier spread, right? So the tier 7 tank only saw 6s, 1 below, and then 8s, 1 above. Let's take a look at, let's get off the German tanks, right? Let's go, what do we got here? Where's the IS-3? Okay, vehicle details. Hull armor, 110 hull armor. Here's the IS-3, a 1-tier spread. Right, here's the IS-3, a low profile, heavy tank, very sloped and angled armor. If this IS-3 here has this lower glacis buried in a hole or behind some rocks or something covered, this 110 millimeters of armor gets a buff, right? Because it's sloped. It's on a very, very slope. It's very sloped. 249 millimeters of turret armor. We cannot pen this tank front on. We have to outmaneuver and outflank it. So when you're fighting these heavy tanks in a tank destroyer, what are your bonuses? What are your buffs to counter the fact that you don't have a movable turret and you've got no armor? When you're fighting heavy tanks, what are your bonuses? Let's take a look at it. Right, let's take a look at it. The bonuses are that it's really, really small. It's really, really fast because it's a light tank. It doesn't have a lot of armor, so therefore its engine can propel it very quickly, more so than what it can heavy and medium tanks. Its concealment is 1,000, right? It's got a very high concealment rate because it needs it, because that's its attribute. That's its positive attribute to counter the fact that it has a low damage and low penetration gun with no armor. When you're fighting a behemoth like the IS-3. That's just the way the road in World of Tanks. Like, I don't understand what you guys don't fucking get. Like, what do you not get? What are you not seeing here? A big, huge fucking tank with a lot of alpha damage and a lot of armor and a lot of turret armor versus a tiny little tank with no turret, no armor, and like it's just, you know, like it's positives versus negatives, you know, like what something outweighs the other. It's just how it is. It's just, you know, you can't be calling this just because you've played in a 5 and 6 tank and you've been absolutely torn apart by someone that's got a good concealment rate E25 with camo net, with a good crew, right? It's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. Let's click the battle button. Rant over. Let's click the battle button. And I was taking a break from World of Tanks because I've just been so frustrated with this game lately. And let's click the battle button and see what sort of battle we get. Any second now. 279 people in queue, 19,000 people online, and we're waiting close to 30 seconds for a battle. Yay. Oh, well, would you look at that? We got a 1-tier spread. Not too bad at all. I was thinking it was going to be 7s and 9s. But let's see what we've got to fight here. So we've got an ELC, a Black Prince, a Tiger 2, sorry, a T29 and a T28 prototype. We've got an RHM, we've got 3 T29s. This is going to be a really interesting battle. It's going to be a really interesting battle. I'm not a very good player in World of Tanks. I've got like I'm an average player. I think it's, what is it, like I fit in the top 60. I'm better than 60% of players that play the game, but I'm not in like the top 20%. So that's loud. That is loud. Alright, here we go. Let's watch this overpowered tank just absolutely dominate. I should be able to kill every player on the enemy team, because this tank is so overpowered. Watch, I'm going to sit in this little bush here. I'm not going to be spotted the whole fucking map. Actually, you know what? Let's go and scout. We don't seem to have anyone scouting, so let's go and see what happens if we try and scout. Actually, no, they've got... what are their tanks doing? Let's try and... Here we go. Oh. Getting shot at. My sixth sense hasn't gone off, but I'm getting shot at. Love it. Okay, let's start getting... Okay, here's a T29. Didn't penetrate his armor. Missed. Overpowered tank, by the way. We bounced a shot on a T29, and we missed the second one. Very overpowered tank. Very overpowered display of tank right here. Okay, there's an ELC. Very, very paper light tank. Oh, we were able to hit him. And I think we might have hit him a second time. The ELC 90 is a very light tank. It's got next to no armor. I'll penetrate him every time. Okay, let's go and try and fight this Cromwell. And look, their T28's camping up the back there. Hopefully... Okay, that's their artillery right there. I don't know why no one's shooting him and getting him out of the game. Yay! There's our first kill. And their T28 sitting within my view range went invisible with no camo. There's no bushes there whatsoever. And he was able to... Oh, there he is. Now I'm spotted. That Type 64 has no armor, and it's a tier 6 tank. I'm sorry that he's in the battle and that, you know, I have to fight against him. It's just the way it is. I have a Type 64 and have to do that shit all the time as well. It's a very fun tank, but you just don't rush 2 tank destroyers like he did. So I've done 584 damage, I've got 1 kill, and I just lost 25% of my health to a T28 prototype in 1 hit. Again, see, look at what, like, I can't, fuck. See, if I had a movable turret back there, I'd be easily able to get shots. I wouldn't have to move and dick around like that. And playing these tank destroyers, it's all about tank placement. I fully understand that. They might win this. They could come back and win this. It's not, that wouldn't be their ELC and their T28. They easily carry this game. Do it. No, not now. The T28's down. We should win easily. It's a win. Mind you, overpowered tank, only 584 damage and 1 kill, because this tank is just so overpowered. It needs to be nerfed. Wargaming, help us. This tank is so overpowered. Get the fuck out of here, dude. Seriously. There are a lot more overpowered tanks in this game, like the FV friggin' tier 10 British tank destroyer over the E25. Like, come on now. Let's make some videos on tanks that are actually overpowered and need to be addressed at nerfing, more so than tanks that are perfectly balanced. Guys, that is going to do it for this video. Maybe I should just keep addressing people that think that certain tanks in World of Tanks are overpowered when they actually don't know what they're talking about. But, you know, I don't want to address this negativity and drama and stuff like that. But when I've got and played so many tanks, and I don't really think, like, let's take a look. Tech tree. Okay, what do we got here? Where's the here, this, the TVP T50-1. That thing is overpowered as hell. Where's the British tech tree? The FV 4005. That thing is overpowered as hell, right? There are so many tanks in this game that are much more overpowered, and I just gave you 2 examples than the E25. So how about we start making videos addressing the tanks that are actually really overpowered rather than ones that are perfectly well balanced. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.